Leonardo DiCaprio is often seen as the definition of success. Fame, wealth, talent, and global recognition wrapped into one life. But behind that image lies a far more complicated story. For years, the world watched him chase something that seemed simple: validation. Not from fans or box office numbers, but from an institution that kept overlooking him. That long wait turned into a narrative bigger than his films. It became a symbol of persistence, obsession, and the strange ways success can still feel incomplete. His journey is not just about acting, it's about identity, about what happens when a person becomes larger than their own life, and more importantly, what gets lost when the world only sees the surface, never the struggle beneath it. A childhood far from glamour. Before the fame, there was struggle. DiCaprio grew up in a rough part of Los Angeles, far removed from the polished image Hollywood sells. Raised primarily by his mother, he witnessed firsthand what sacrifice looked like. She worked tirelessly, taking him to auditions across the city, often relying on public transport and hope. Their life was not built on privilege, but persistence. He saw things no child should see: violence, instability, uncertainty, and those early experiences shaped his worldview. They also planted something deeper: a determination to escape. Acting wasn't just a dream, it became a way out, a promise he silently made to change their reality. That promise would later fuel his relentless drive, but it also created a pressure that never truly left him, even after he reached the top. The hunger that never left. Even after he started getting roles, the insecurity didn't disappear. Early success in television and films brought attention, but not respect. He had to fight to be taken seriously, to prove he was more than just another young face. His breakthrough performances showed depth, but Hollywood still hesitated. That hesitation became fuel. He pushed harder, choosing roles that demanded transformation and emotional intensity. Yet the more he gave, the more he seemed to be chasing something just out of reach. It wasn't money or fame, he had both. It was recognition from those he believed truly mattered. That hunger, born from childhood struggle, never faded. It evolved into something more complex, something that blurred the line between passion and pressure. The burden of global fame. When Titanic exploded into a global phenomenon, DiCaprio's life changed overnight. He became one of the most recognizable people on Earth. But fame at that level comes with a cost. Privacy disappears. Identity becomes distorted. He wasn't just an actor anymore. He was an image, a symbol, a product. While the world celebrated him, he struggled to be seen as a serious artist. The same success that elevated him also trapped him. Offers came pouring in, but many were shallow, repetitive, designed to capitalize on his popularity rather than challenge his talent. He had to fight again, this time not for opportunity, but for credibility. It was a different kind of battle, one that required patience, resilience, and a willingness to risk failure. The long road to validation. Over the years, DiCaprio delivered performance after performance that critics praised. Films like The Aviator, The Wolf of Wall Street, and Inception showcased his range and commitment. Yet the recognition he sought remained elusive. Each award season brought hope, followed by disappointment. What started as frustration turned into a public narrative. People began to notice, then joke about it, then expect it. His losses became memes, overshadowing his work. It wasn't just about not winning, it was about being consistently overlooked despite undeniable talent. That kind of pattern can affect anyone. For DiCaprio, it became a quiet weight he carried, even as he continued to push himself further with every role. When the world turns it into a joke, the internet amplified everything. His repeated losses became a cultural phenomenon. Memes spread, headlines questioned, audiences debated. What should have been a conversation about his craft became a running joke about his failures. This shift changed how people viewed him. Instead of focusing on his performances, they focused on what he lacked. That kind of public perception can reshape a career narrative. For DiCaprio, it meant constantly being reminded of something he couldn't control. He handled it with professionalism, but the impact was real. When the world reduces your work to a punchline, it's hard not to feel it. Yet, he continued, choosing challenging roles and refusing to let the noise define him completely. pushing limits for proof. When he took on The Revenant, it wasn't just another project. It felt like a statement. The role demanded physical and emotional endurance. Harsh conditions, extreme environments, and intense scenes pushed him to his limits. He committed fully, knowing what was at stake, not just professionally, but personally. It became a test of everything he had built over the years. When he finally won the Academy Award, the moment was historic. The world celebrated. The narrative was complete. But behind that victory was something more complicated. Relief? Yes, but also exhaustion. Because sometimes when you chase something for so long, achieving it doesn't feel the way you imagined. Success and its contradictions beyond acting, DiCaprio built a reputation as an environmental activist. His foundation has supported countless initiatives, raising awareness and funding critical projects. His passion for the planet is genuine and consistent. However, his lifestyle has also drawn criticism. The contrast between advocacy and personal choices sparked debate. This duality reflects a broader truth about modern celebrity. It's difficult to exist in a system while also trying to change it. DiCaprio's efforts have made a real impact, but they also highlight the complexity of living in alignment with one's values. It's not a simple story of right or wrong. It's a reflection of the challenges that come with influence and responsibility. The personal life under scrutiny. His relationships have also been a topic of constant discussion. Patterns in his dating life have led to public criticism and speculation. While everything exists within legal boundaries, the consistency has raised questions about personal growth and connection. The conversation goes beyond gossip. It touches on deeper themes of power, maturity, and identity. DiCaprio has chosen to keep his private life largely out of public explanation. That silence, however, often invites more interpretation. It's a reminder that fame doesn't just amplify success, it magnifies every personal choice. And in that spotlight, even the most private decisions become part of a larger narrative. A life full but not complete by every external measure, DiCaprio has achieved extraordinary success. Yet there's an ongoing question about fulfillment. Fame, wealth, and recognition do not automatically create meaning. His life reflects a common paradox: having everything and still searching for something more. Relationships, legacy, and personal connection remain areas where success cannot be measured as easily. This doesn't make his story tragic. It makes it human. Because behind every achievement is a person trying to understand what it all means. And sometimes, the answers are not as clear as the goals that once drove them. The lesson behind the legend Leonardo DiCaprio's journey is not about failure or even success in the traditional sense. It's about the complexity of ambition, about how chasing greatness can sometimes come at the cost of simplicity. His story challenges the idea that reaching the top brings clarity. Instead, it shows that questions often remain. What matters most? What lasts? What defines a life beyond achievements? These are questions everyone faces, regardless of status. DiCaprio's life simply puts them under a brighter light. And in that light, we see not just a celebrity, but a reflection of our own pursuits and uncertainties.